We got a 2011 Mercedes E350 convertible, and the steering column lock has went out, which is common on these Mercedes. So what happens is you turn the key, nothing. It's completely dead. It's not dead, but that's the response you get, as if you had like a dead battery, possibly. But of course, you know, the blinkers work, everything like that. So what we did, we're going using the IM608, and we're going to actually program an emulator. So I've got the emulator here, and this is the model of this is W207, and you're also going to need right now with the IM608 to request a blank key to start reading the password. All right, I lost part of the video, so I'm going to show you basically how you get to these prompts. So first step, you go to Emo, accept, Mercedes. I'm going to go to manual selection because you can go to auto. You put your blinker lights on and you can do an auto selection, but I already know which one mine is. So I'm going to go to E-Class. It's 11. Yes. I'm going to go to control unit, and we're going to go to the EIS tools. This is the the ignition switch. So the first step you're going to want to do, it's only 3 steps you've got to do, right? You've got to read the EIS data. Then you've got to find the password for the key by going to add key. And then the third step is to program that data using the key password into the ESL emulator. So we go to read EIS data, OBD port, because we're doing this on the car, on vehicle, right? And W207 is the model I'm doing. All right, once it reads the EIS data, it's going to look something like this. It's going to show you, you know, the keys and whatnot that you have. Like this car has 2 used slots. At that point, you're going to hit OK, and it's going to prompt you to save it. And it'll save it. You could save it by the VIN number and your location. It's always gonna populate to that location. Now the next step you're gonna do is read the key password, right? So you're gonna go back, and then you're gonna go to add key. And of course we're on vehicle. All right, so the next step, it's gonna bring you to this screen, and these are the steps it's gonna do. It's going to first read the EIS data from the car. Once you just press begin here, then it's going to ask you to insert the key into your XP400 programmer, and you just insert it. It's going to read that, and it's going to come to success here as well. Then it's going to come to step 3. This is where you need a blank key because you cannot obtain the password unless you pass this step, right? So you put the blank key in the slot as well. And at that point, it's going to prompt you for the password. And of course, you don't have the password. At that point, it's going to transfer you to the obtain password screen. There's no other way I found to get to that on the the IM608 right now without using a blank key, passing step 3. And now the video is going to continue from this portion right here. So right now I'm at the portion right now where it is reading the password. So I'm going to continue in a bit and show you kind of like the steps a little bit before this. Once it pulls the password, it's already at 4 minutes. I'll let you know how long it took to get the password for the key. All right, it took right about 5-6 minutes to generate the password, and it did. Now it went to insert the key into the EIS, which is the key slot. So we're going to take it out, put it in, wait for 30 seconds. I just hit the OK. So it's going to do its 30-second countdown. By the way, you will need the XP400 connected via USB. And I've got the OBD port just connected directly through Bluetooth normally on IM608. I'll pause this. All right. Confirm that the key can be turned to the on position, which I'm pretty sure it can. There it is, on. and press OK. Okay, got to put it back into the programmer. Key out. Back in the slot. All right. All right, we're at 9 minutes. And the password is still going, so bring you back in a second. All right, we came right at about 12 minutes and we got the password. So that was a success. So 784. All right, I'm gonna put the key back into the ignition and wait 30 seconds. Didn't say turn it on. By the way, if you do this without the key right now, it does not give you the prompt where you can pull this password unless you have a actual blank, it needs to be an aftermarket blank key, or else it will not let you get to this prompt to actually, pull the password. It always asks for a blank key. Password calculation complete. All right. It's generating key file. We're going to cancel out. Actually, this is where I was talking about. I had to come to this, add a key to actually be able to generate the key password. And the first thing it does is read the EIS data. It then reads key ignition data. Then you have to have a blank key to insert it into here. If you do not have a blank key, you cannot get to the next section, which is obtain the key password, which is what I just did, right? I'm going to now cancel that now that I have the password. Should fail. Now I can go in, and because we don't want to actually make a key because I already have 2 keys for this vehicle, what I want to do now is to, using the key password, I'm going to be able to write the data to the ESL simulator. So I'm going to cancel out. So I'm going to escape. Yes. So yeah, so what I did when I came into the actual vehicle, I went into to add key actually right here, right? And that was the way to get the key password. If you just go into the EIS tools, there's no way to just read the password. There's also another prompt in here, but this brings you to the same thing where it needs the blank key. So that's an important change. I think they've made a change in the interface here, and it requires the key now, which shouldn't be that way, but it is what it is, just so you know. All right, so now we're going to go to ESL, the lock. All right, now that you've got the key password, the next step is to go into ESL tools. This is where we're going to write now using the EIS data that we've got and the key password to be able to write to the emulator, the ESL emulator, and that should solve the issue. So we go to ESL tools. I know mine is W207, and we did not do it on the G-Box. We did it on car. And what we're going to do now is write ESL data. Okay. By the way, if you did not connect a K line, basically connect to your OBD port number, pin number 7, and then to the red, and I believe it's red and white wire, this is what you're going to get. It's never going to be able to communicate with the ESL emulator or the original one, because this portion is done through the K line. And believe it or not, like on this W207, this E350, it actually does not have a K line wire. So I used my back probes and connected directly to the ports on the emulator. Now, the way you can check if your cable is good, once you have your cable connected to pin 7 on the OBD port, like I showed you, and to the red, and which is the third port on the actual ESL or the emulator, it's the white with a red stripe on it, I believe. You can just click check ESL, and it should come up here and say ESL OK. If you do not get an ESL OK, then that means the K line, the cable that you jumpered, is not making good contact, and you will get this. If you're not making good contact, you're going to get this. So once you're making good contact and it comes up and says ESL OK, you can then go to the right ESL section here. Once you get the successful connection, it's going to prompt you to load the EIS data. You're going to load the EIS data that you previously saved, which this is mine. So then I'm going to click on that. It's going to ask me, am I clear? I want to load it. Tell it yes. It's going to load it. It's going to show the values, and that is the values it's going to load to program the ESL, the emulator. Then you're going to tell it okay. Yeah, so then when you tell it okay, it's going to come up and ask you to enter the 16-digit key password. Now we're going to enter, I already have mine populated, the key password, I already entered it. So you already generated yours, so you're going to fill yours in, and then you tell it okay. Once you tell it okay, it's going to program. It just takes, about 2 to 3 seconds. And you might notice the light on the actual emulator change to like green. If it doesn't, which happened in my case, it did not turn to green. Once it's done programming, you come back to this screen. It brings you back here. Then you scroll down, and I actually went to write VIN. Okay, you click write VIN, and it's gonna communicate with the ESL. I'm not connected right now, and it's gonna prompt you to put in the 14 characters, the last 14 characters of the VIN. So you're going to skip the first 3 letters of the VIN, right? And put in the rest of the VIN. Once you do that, you hit OK. It's going to tell you write complete, write OK. And the minute I pressed OK and it did the write OK, my emulator ESL went to a green light instantly. At that point, I had to just turn the key out, take the key out of the the ignition, put it back in, and I got my full display. Everything came back on. You might also have to go into the EIS module and clear any of the codes, but I did not have to. Once I took my key, inserted my key, turned it on, that was it. Yeah, I believe this is the only video that shows you how to do it actually on the car. Like and subscribe, man. I'm going to be putting up more videos. If I see some likes and things, that's how I know which videos to put, that this stuff worked out for you guys. Let me show you. You're going to see here now that it did actually turn green, and you're going to see the emulator operating. Now we got a green light on the module. You can see, turn it off. And we got start. Ready to go. Another success.